My name is Rashida King. I am a 7th grade pre-algebra teacher at Bellevue Middle School. I've been teaching for 17 years. I've coached for 12 years as a head girls basketball coach.
Ms. King, tell me a little about just your coaching experience and how you're able to kind of relate coaching and life into one big bundle into the coach and train the girls.
Well, everything I treat as a parent first and as a mother first. And I feel if I treat those athletes or those students as I would want my children to be treated, it makes it a lot easier. I want the best for my kids, and therefore every child I come in contact with, I want the best for them. I'm just as strict, just as loving as I am with my own kids, as the athletes that I come in contact with, as well as my students. So I feel like if you look at that from that aspect, you want the same for these kids as you want for your children, then you'll put your best into them as you would your own. I'm actually a product of Bellevue Middle School. I started right here. The community center on Cleveland is where I actually first touched the ball as a 10-year-old. Some young men in the neighborhood took me under their wings and decided to invest their time and energy into me. And I then began to come to Bellevue. When I came to Bellevue, I was an athlete from the 7th through the 9th grade. I played basketball here, and I also ran track here my 8th and 9th grade year. I went on to Northside High School, where I thrived as a basketball player as well and a track player under the leadership of Coach Donald Holmes. And my coach here at Bellevue were Roselle Blanchard and Coach Brown. I was actually forced to run track here at Bellevue. The PE teacher, Miss Linda Street, saw me running in PE one day, and she said, "You're gonna run track." So I developed a love for track as well. It helped me to stay in shape for basketball. So a lot of people that I can give credit to, I can't name them all, but I really can give credit to so many different people that's groomed me into the young lady that I am today. And I'm just eternally grateful to those people.
So would you say that basketball was more of your primary sport than track?
Yes, it was, but I wish somebody had really pushed me to stay with track, because track was more natural for me.
Okay.
I didn't have to do a lot of practice. It was just natural, to run track. I really wish somebody had stayed on me about track, because I feel like I could have been in somebody's relay in the Olympics. Basketball was just what was cool and what was popular. And I was good at that as well, but I feel like I could have gone far with track had I taken it more seriously.
You had a lot of support.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I guess.
People that, I had people that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and I appreciate that, academically and athletic-wise. People always thought more of me than I did myself. And I think it's important to also, remain humble and always remain coachable. Because when you remain coachable, then you're willing to accept help, and you'll get the help that you need, and you'll always be successful.
I think you guys just recently won the state championship.
Yes.
Hey, talk to me and tell me a little about that.
Well, I'm so thrilled, and I'm totally elated to make history at Bellevue. As an athlete here, it's never been done, and it's definitely never been done with the boys and girls at the same time. We've always made it, to the time where you compete for the championship. We make it to the tournament, we win the city championship, but to be recognized as, I guess you can say, the best in the state or the county, it's just a good feeling. And I was fortunate to get some transfers here that we were blessed with that just fell in our lap at Bellevue Middle School, to name a few. We had Sequoia Alman, we had Century and Avent, some kids that just kind of fell in our lap. Jemiah Brooks, coming from other schools, and I just feel like that I'm glad our paths crossed, and I feel like they all played an instrumental part in their success. And then I also had some returning players that contributed as well. I had Skylar, I had Morgan, I also had Serena Lee, Geraldine Richardson. And we also had, an incoming 6th grader who contributed a lot. I know it was a lot of pressure. We call her a little bit, Taria Hazlett, and so we're expecting some great things after her next year. And I'm just so glad that those girls were able to gel and that their talents were able to work together for us to accomplish that main goal.
How was your coaching staff? Did you have any help, anything throughout the season?
Yes, my longtime friend and teammate, Tiffany Jacobs. We played together. We were actually rivals in high school. She played for Hamilton High School. I played for Northside High School. Coached under Donald Holmes, and Robert Newman was her coach. And we were rivals in high school. And we ended up crossing paths at Lemoyne College, where we played under the leadership of Miss Deidre Lawson. And we became the best of friends. And we coached together this year, the last couple of years, and we said, hey, if you do it, I do it. Because we both have a lot on our plate. We both have 4 children, and we have a lot of responsibilities with our own children. But we said, hey, we do this, we're going to do it together. And if you do it, I do it, and let's make it happen. So
it was no, like, with y'all coming in to coach together, it was no type of conflict, anything like that. It was just kind of more of a partnership, more than anything.
Right. Head coach is just a title. She gets just as much credit. She has just as much as influence over the girls and over the things we do as a team when it comes to playmaking, drills, everything. So it's really just a coaching partnership.
Right. So how throughout the whole season, I guess from day one, just before you got the transfers, how did you expect the season to be before, with just the primary player that you already had before you got the transfers?
Well, based on the previous year, we felt like we had the strength to make it far. We really did, because last year those kids made it to about the 3rd round of the sectionals, and so and it was the same group of kids. We only lost a few of the kids who were our primary scorers or primary rebounders or primary shooters. So most of them came back. And so we really expected that we would go far. We just didn't know that we would win it all. And considering that we did lose the city, that was kind of heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. But the girls, to let them know that, hey, let's keep this big goal in mind. Let's win this. Let's win this state. Let's win this section. Because last year, for the last couple of years, we won the city. So to come in, lose that, and then go on to win the sectionals was, really exciting, I should say.
Right. So another thing, how are you able to, I guess, implement the way you want the game to be played and the way you coach versus how a player really plays? Because you got your way that you've been coaching and playing since you've been playing basketball. You might have a player that come in that does something that you kind of don't like. So how are you kind of able to, I guess, join the two to make a better athlete and a better coach? Well,
I feel like as a coach and as a player, you have to be open-minded. Just because I'm a coach does not mean I don't listen to my players. Just because, and I expect the same thing from my players. I take suggestions for my players, and I also take some suggestions for parents or whoever's around me. My coaching style is more of has nothing to really do with the game. I just feel like if you respect me, I respect you, and we can accomplish this main goal. You may not agree with everything I do. I may not agree with everything you do, but let's work toward this common goal together and set our differences aside. So with that being in mind, I just feel like, you can work with pretty much anybody if you agree to respect each other's opinion and respect each other's beliefs and their philosophies of coaching or whatever it may be.
And I know you got a lot of, you got a couple of players that's graduating this year or going to high school. What would be some advice or anything that you can give a player that's leaving your program or your school to go on to the next level?
Well, my number one advice always is to players and to students alike is to remain humble and always be willing to listen to anybody. And just because a person's not an athlete, not a coach, does not mean they don't have anything to say to you. I would have people come up to me. I remember a man used to follow me in high school. I have no idea who he was. He looked like somebody, a bum off the street. He stopped me after the game one time and he said, hey, you good, but you need to shoot a little more. And, I didn't ignore what he said because I felt like if he took enough time to look at my game and analyze it and critique it and give me some advice, I respected it. I shook his hand and I said, thank you so much. I'll work on it. So you have to be willing to listen to all outside avenues to build on your success. No one person is bigger or less than the other, no matter their status or no matter what position that they hold. You have to remain humble. I would advise them to remain humble. Remain humble and always remain coachable and always be open to learn. As a coach, I continue. I have a lot to learn about this game. I watch coaches. I have a lot to learn from my players. I can learn from anybody and be willing to learn from anybody, no matter, the status, no matter their position. Just be open and willing to learn. And I just think that's what make better people and better players.